Hi, this is Cindy Morris with AVS Medical, and I'm pleased to be able to show you some of the tools available in Lytec 2014 and Lytec 2015 for preparing for the ICD-10 billing beginning October the 1st. First of all, a good starting point would be to run a report to familiarize yourself with the types of diagnosis codes that you're using and the frequency with which you use them. If you go ahead and click Reports, Analysis Reports, you'll find that there's a Diagnosis Code Analysis Detail and Summary. If you choose the Analysis Summary and go ahead and either put in perhaps a year's time or the full amount of dates available, the report that is generated will come up and show you which diagnosis codes are used and the percentage of time that they're being used. In order to sort this particular report, on the upper left-hand corner, there is the ability to click Export Report. You would then go ahead and change the type of report to Excel, and then give it a file name such as Diagnosis Summary. You could then save that report somewhere on your hard drive, go ahead and open it in Excel, and then sort the columns based on either the percentage or the number of times, that would be the units, in order to give yourself a real feel for the most frequently used diagnoses. The reason for this will become apparent later. Once you have a good idea of the diagnoses that are used in your practice, you want to go ahead and access the tools available to you by clicking on Tools, ICD-10 Tools, and the first tool is Set Insurance Code Set. If you select this, the list of all of your insurance companies will appear, and you want to go ahead and change the default code set for claims to ICD-10 and change the date of service to begin on 10/1/2015. You can then select all of the insurance companies to be updated by clicking Select and then Update Selected. Should you have a certain carrier, though, that is not going to change to ICD-10, you can put a check mark next to just that one. For example, we have an auto insurance carrier. Auto accident insurance and workman's compensation insurance are not expected at this point to switch to ICD-10. So you can go ahead and switch those back to ICD-9. And as you can see here, I went ahead and changed just that one to be an ICD code set. The idea behind this tool is to be able to allow you to change a large number of insurance companies at one time. If for some reason you want to go ahead and just change one carrier, perhaps you find out in the future that that particular carrier is switching to ICD-10 or has not, you could go to your list of insurance companies and open up that particular carrier. And you'll notice that there is a new tab added for the insurance company. Down here is where you can change them one at a time to ICD-10 and then give it a start date of, let's say this one's going to be, I don't know, maybe November. Then all claims with that date of service would go ahead and start using ICD-10 effective November the 1st. Let's go back to the tools, ICD-10 tools, and let's take a look at the ICD-10 mappings. This tool that's located within Lytec feeds off of what's known as the GEM tool. That's General Equivalency Mapping Tool that was made available from CMS about 2 years ago or so. And the idea was to give you a quick way to map current ICD-9 codes to ICD-10, especially if they're available in a one-to-one correlation. So for our example here, I'm clicking on the one-to-one mapping tab, and automatically all of my diagnosis codes are brought up here, and I can go ahead and select them all. And when I do, the software is going to take my existing code and add in the ICD-10 information to it. So if I click Create Selected Codes, it's going to add a brand new code for every single one of my existing codes. And as the new code, you'll notice in this left-hand column, it is going to use the ICD-10 code. That means that should you choose to start using codes today, for example, if you choose to use the very first one, E11.9, the software itself knows that the ICD-9 code for that is 250.00, but the ICD-10 code is E11.9. So should you bill today in your charges and payment screen using E11.9, if the date of service is before October the 1st, the software will print in the diagnosis code 250.00, or it will send 250.00 electronically. If you use E11.9 as your billing code for dates of service October the 1st or later, then E11.9 will print on your claim form, or E11.9 will be sent electronically. So I'm going to click Create Selected Codes. The mappings were created, and then this list will appear empty because I've mapped all of my codes. If I go to Other Mappings, this would be for codes that do not have a one-to-one relationship, and the tool will allow you to select the code one at a time, and then at the bottom show you multiple mappings available for this particular example. So our code that I've highlighted is 784.0, and below you can see that the GEM tool has found two comparable diagnoses for headache, one being a vascular headache, one being just plain headache. And it wants to know, would you like to add both G44.1 and R51 to your diagnosis code list? If so, you'll click on Create Selected Codes. If you choose to do that, that means in the ICD-10 coding, when you add R51 or you choose R51 as the diagnosis code, for all claims prior to October the 1st, it will send 784.0. But of course, from October 1st on, it will send R51. So I'm going to go ahead and click Create Selected Codes because I'd like to add both to my list. Okay, let's go back and take a look at all the diagnosis codes that I've added. I'm going to click on Lists and Diagnosis Codes and maximize this window. And when I do the lookup of the diagnosis codes by clicking on the little magnifying glass, you'll notice now that on the right-hand side we have check marks for ICD-9 and ICD-10. Looking at just the ICD-9 code list, up at the top, you'll see that these are my old codes. They're not going to go away. They could have previously been used in a bill, and if they were, they cannot be deleted. But then I've got ICD-10 codes that are appearing, and these are new codes that have been added, and I've highlighted the E11.9 again, and you'll see that I've got both an ICD-9 and an ICD-10 contained within it. So remember, you can start billing with these codes immediately today, and it will pull the ICD-9 all the way up until October the 1st. If you would like to add new codes, you'll notice that you're able to type in the diagnosis code. So if you want to refer to your ICD-10 code book, you can add them manually. Another choice is to use a program called Encoder Pro. Encoder Pro is available for Lytec. We will install it and show you how to use it for $324. And it is like having the entire ICD-10 code book at your disposal because you can search it, you can find codes, and then immediately click on OK to add it to your code list. So it's a great tool to have for this upcoming year should you so choose.